let's move on to the CAG bag, where we have a question from @VoiceByNathan, who asks, what has surprised you the most about the new console generation so far? Lack of games.
There's nothing to be surprised about, because you know what? The thing that still surprises me the most is just the ambivalence of their awful storage systems. But it's not even that they exist. It's just this is what it's gonna be.
Well,
But
it is what it's going to be.
because it is.
I would
No,
say.
I think the fact that there are no like exclusive games is the most surprising thing for the most part. Like there's a couple, but Microsoft really stuck by their guns of like, hey, we're not doing Generations anymore. And Sony's kind of stuck in that same place too, just because they don't have any of their games out yet.
Right.
So it's really weird still to go into stores, and like it's starting to get some like sections of like, here's some PS5 cases, but it's all the same games for the most part that are in PS4 cases. And Xbox, I don't even know, like, are there anything that looks different on Xbox games?
On the box?
Yeah, like I don't even know.
So, but you wouldn't even know because
they don't exist.
Right.
I don't know if I bought an Xbox Series X game. Right? Like I've bought games that have the sticker on them, but I don't know
there
that
are none. There are no Xbox. I mean, well, no. Whatchamacallit, Flight Simulator, right? That doesn't run on the old Xbox, right?
No.
I can't imagine it does.
Is that the only one?
Who knows?
The
I don't
medium?
know.
Does that still only on
this generation has been like the truly like, okay, what happened? Like there's not like a clear cut at all. There's just like this mesh of games, and you can play games like no matter what. Like they're just there and you can play them.
Right. We don't know what system they're for, but they're on your TV right now and you're playing them.
Right. Like, no idea. No idea what this is.
It is funny how like people still like obsessed with trying to score a PS5, but it's like, what's the rush, man?
I mean, it has Ratchet's fun, but it's not like it's not like something you need to actually like go track down a console for.
Right.
The other Spider-Man game's fun. I don't know. There's some the games that we don't play, right?
Like what?
The Dark Souls or
the
whatever.
Souls games.
The Souls games.
Right.
I don't know. I'm waiting for something to surprise me. Something come out.
Please. Forza.
That's gonna be nice. But it's still are they still putting out a version of that for the last Xbox too?
I don't know. That game should be pretty though.
It should
be real pretty on the Series X.
I think the thing is, like, I still play my old consoles so much because those are what I have hooked up upstairs in the living room. So I'm playing the same games in both locations, and it's just like, oh, these load. It takes longer to load on this old one, and the graphics are better, but it's not like, my eyes are hurting because I'm playing the last generation version of games either.
Sabrina wanted to play Undertale last week, and that game is on the cloud thing, the cloud streaming, the Game Pass. xCloud. I'm like, there's a name for it, right? It's on the xCloud, and she has her Chromebook in her room. xCloud, thank you. I set it up on her Chromebook.
Yep.
With Bluetooth, she could use the Xbox, and she was able to play Undertale in her room on her laptop, and that was kind of cool.
You saved the day.
I did.
Nice.
She's like, I just want to play this one game. I'm like, well, here, play it.
So I guess to answer this guy's question, the most surprising thing about the new consoles is how underwhelming they are so far. But this hopefully this fall, at least for Xbox, will get us excited again.
Yeah. And NYC Badgers like kind of said, like, isn't this just how generation transitions go? No. There's like this small, but not, this is new. This is not a normal transition between generations.
Like, I feel like by now it would be transitioned, but maybe not. I don't know. Actually, I think we have until March of next year before it starts to get really weird. But yeah.
Yeah, but it's the backwards nature of everything too, right? Like it's just like, oh, these new games are coming out, and we're still going to support the old consoles with them. It's like it's this weird. This isn't things that they carried on for a long time. You get like different versions of stuff, but not like the same game for both.
I think it's going to require one of these third-party companies, an EA or an Ubi or an Activision, is going to come out with a game that's only going to be on. It'll be cross-platform. It'll be Xbox and PlayStation, but it'll only be PlayStation 5, and it'll only be Series X, and that'll be the game that's sort of like that's going to be the toe in the water, and we'll see how that does. Because enough consoles have sold where you could have a hit cross-platform. But I don't know if you could have a hit if you're real, unless it's a first party game that's a console exclusive. Like that would be hard, I think, still.
But. Yeah, and Game Pass muddied it because there's no big events for the Microsoft ones, right? It's just like you turn it on and there's like your game, your first party titles. It's right there.
It's right there. Here's your Halo. Here's your Gears.
I'm not complaining.
No,
I'm not complaining. It's just a weird. It's so much different than generations, and it's not a big jump between last generation and this generation still.
No.
Right? Like you get the faster load times, you get the high-end kind of niceties, but it's not like, oh, this is a completely different experience.
Right. Like Painkiller in the chat points out that Xbox One had like there was 2 different versions of Forza Horizon. There was like, literally 2 different versions. It wasn't just like frame rate adjustments. Let's move on. Adreal Keith writes in and asks or says he bought a Hello Tushy bidet. Any tips for using one? Should I do a hula motion? Also, do you have to take your pants off to use your squatty potty? You don't have to take your pants off to use a squatty potty. You do have to
take it off. Pull them down. You have to pull them down.
Yeah, you got to pull them down.
Don't leave your pants on.
Yeah, for everything you should take your pants off for everything on the toilet. I haven't used the Tushy bidet, but for my one, you want to like angle your asshole onto the stream directly, and then if you can, once you get good at that, you can like suck up the water with your butthole and like spit it back out, and then you're gonna be so clean. But that takes a little practice. Howard Stern's talked about it; he can do it. But you do have to you basically just move your ass around until the water's going right up there. Don't be afraid to have it get right in there, like inside you. You want to get waterboarded rectally, I think. And that's it. Let's see. At Fendoza writes in and asks, have any of you guys picked up the Lego Mario toys? If so, what do you think? I was skeptical at first, but my son and I love them. They were on clearance at Target.
Yeah, the first wave of them are starting to go on clearance everywhere because they have new ones coming out, and they put out a ton of them, right?
I remember during holiday season, they were the only ones on the shelf.
Yeah, and some of that is, I think they overproduced.
They definitely overproduced these. Yeah. I honestly, they look kind of lousy to me.
They're fun. They're fun. The parts that look kind of lousy are the level parts, like the in between like connections of the levels. It's just like, oh, that's just like a long Lego piece that connects some like rounded off squares. It's like, oh, that's kind of lame. But all the like Mario stuff around it, the figure and like the thwomp or whatever, the guy that falls over.
I know what he is.
Yeah, like I have him, and I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. I like this thwomp figure, and I have like a Yoshi. And they just put out, or they're putting out the one of the airships, and that looks pretty good. So,
I mean, the Bowser's Castle looked cool, but you have to get the starter kit just to do anything, and the starter kit looks like crap. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, I think that was the mistake with them. Kind of, it's kind of neat, but at the same time, it's just like, oh man, if they just made these like Legos, they would have a real big hit on their hands, I think.
Yeah, I don't know why it's that whole, you need to get the special Mario that does the special thing, and he only comes in this set, and it's $40, and it's like 6 pieces for $40, and you need that before you could get anything else. I'm like, this is dumb, and that's why it was the only thing on the shelves left after the holidays.
It's like Lego DRM.
Mm-hmm.
Don't like it.
It was dumb. It was a bad call. Bad call. Just make regular minifigures that look like Super Mario.
It's not that hard.
You get
really
Luigi now.
Yeah, good for Luigi. It's me, Mario Slay, my brother.
All right.
Oh, where's a hug? A hug for Luigi. It's so long.